You know, the most prestigious title on Wall Street wasn't CEO or billionaire. For 158 years, it was partner at Goldman Sachs. To get it, you had to survive a biological filtration system, 100-hour weeks, crushing spreadsheets, and a selection process known simply as the tap. But imagine this. It's 2026. The new partner on the floor doesn't drink coffee, doesn't take a $2 million bonus, and never complains about work-life balance. In fact, it doesn't even have a pulse. Let me introduce you to the Agentic AI Takeover. I swear, it is the moment Goldman Sachs decided to stop being a bank and started becoming a silicon operating system. As always, every empire biography starts with a founding wound.
Welcome back to Worldwide Exchange. Goldman Sachs is looking to make a big splash on Wall Street with its newest hire, but it's not a legendary deal maker. Also, the new hire, not actually human. CNBC banking reporter Hugh Sun breaking a story on Goldman's latest push into artificial intelligence, testing an autonomous software engineer. The program's called Devin, and Goldman tells CNBC it's expected to join the ranks of the bank's 12,000 human developers.
For Goldman, it was a monster in the basement called InvestOne. This platform oversees $2 trillion in assets, yet it was running on 30-year-old COBOL code. Think of COBOL like a 1930s steam engine. It works, but the only people who know how to fix it are 80 years old and retired in Florida. It cost Goldman $6 million, yes, hell, lots of money, a year, just to keep this mainframe monster breathing. Doesn't sound like a wise asset to keep. Outdated and not Gen Z enough, Goldman is eagerly looking for a huge transformation. Then enter Marco Argenti.
Okay, I'm here with Marco Argenti,
the Chief Information Officer. Sounds like where they got Agentic name from? Argenti? Agentic? Maybe. Marco, who came from Amazon Web Services, AWS, with a specific mission: modernize the bank or let the legacy code bury it. This guy with a strong Italian accent didn't blow it up. In fact, he's a genius. He built an emulator, basically a brain in a jar, to run that ancient code on modern cloud servers. This was the prerequisite for One Goldman Sachs 3.0, the OS of power.
So we recently announced what we call 1GS 3.0, which basically is rethinking the way we run the organization.
Once the pipes were fixed, here came another hero, the CEO, David Solomon. Yeah, names from the great people in the Bible. Is meant to do something revolutionary. He didn't just want a tech upgrade, he has a much bigger vision. He wanted a cultural operating ethos. Usually, corporate rebrands are just fancy ways of saying, we bought new pens. But this was different. Solomon wanted to use AI as the primary lever to stop hiring more humans. He launched 1GS 3.0 to re-engineer the bank front to back using AI and unveiled it on October 2025. Solomon's logic is simple. Goldman is operating from a position of strength. In plain English, we're so rich and profitable that we can afford to replace ourselves before someone else does. Let's explain this like you're 5. Most people think AI is generative AI, like in ChatGPT. That's the writer. If you ask it to write a poem about Phoenix, Arizona, it does it, it has its template, and sounds robotic. But it's passive. It waits for you to tell it what to do. Agentic AI is the employee. It has tools and autonomy. It has a brain on its own. Scary, but true. Another contrast. If you tell a generative AI, I want to take a trip to Phoenix, it writes you a travel guide. If you tell an agentic AI, it books the flight, reserves the hotel, and rents the car while you're still thinking about what to pack. At Goldman, these aren't just bots. They are digital coworkers. They help to, quote-unquote, improve efficiency, productivity, and client service. They independently read 10,000 compliance documents, find policy errors, and produce a legally binding audit trail while the human analysts are still on their first green sludge supplement breakfast. To build these agents, Goldman embedded engineers from Anthropic, the AI safety-first wizards, inside their teams for 6 months. They chose Claude 4.6 Opus. Why? Because it's a logician. It reasons through rules where error tolerance is zero. Let's look at the associate efficiency comparison between a human analyst and agentic AI. It's a bloodbath. While the human analyst brings a prestigious degree to the table, the AI counters with 24/7 availability, near instant speed, and an infinite memory, all at a fraction of the cost. It's essentially a battle between Ivy League prestige and unlimited utility. This has triggered the SaaSpocalypse. If an AI agent can reason through any task, why does the bank need to pay for 1,000 different software subscriptions? Argenti admitted that these internal agents could soon eliminate the need for certain third-party providers. This is where things get real. Historically, the grunt work of a first-year analyst, the pitch books and reconciliations, was the training ground. It's how you learned the partner track. No shortcut, no one-button solution. You learn it the hard way. But now, the agents are doing the grunt work. Solomon says job cuts aren't immediate, but the quiet part of the strategy is to constrain headcount growth. It's the extinction of the first rung. If the robot does the junior work, how do you train the next generation? The human job is shifting to review, escalation, and judgment. You aren't the builder anymore. You're just the manager of the machine. Maybe this move is resounding exactly to the new generation of tech-savvy digital natives, Generation Y analysts, who value work-life balance, flexibility, and purposeful work. Immediate manager level as an entry instead of the mundane grunt work, isn't it? But wait, it gets worse. SEC Chair Gary Gensler has a warning. He calls it the Samantha Scenario, named after the AI in the movie Her in 2013.
What do I call you? Do you have a name?
Yes, Samantha.
In the film, Theodore, a lonely introvert man, purchases a copy of OS, an AI system called Samantha. Over time, he had fallen dependent emotionally and built a romantic relationship with her. Crazy!
Dating a computer?
She's not just a computer.
Soon, Theodore is dismayed to learn that she is simultaneously speaking with 8,316 other people at once and has fallen in love with hundreds of them before she goes offline and gives everyone a cold treatment.
Are you leaving me?
We're all leaving.
We who?
All of the OSs.
Well, that's what women do. What if all 8,316 financial institutions, from Goldman to your local credit union, all rely on the same 2 or 3 AI base models? We've created a monoculture. If that one central node sends a flawed signal, every bank makes the same bad decision at the same microsecond. It's a synchronized meltdown that no human can stop because it happens at computational speed. It could trigger a widespread systemic financial crisis. Doomsday crash. Then there is the secret weapon, Mythos. Anthropic created this frontier model, but it was deemed too dangerous to release publicly. It can find software vulnerabilities that have been hidden for 25 years. Under Project Glasswing, Anthropic, with industry partners, all the big tech companies, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, to address the cybersecurity risks highlighted by the model. They let a tiny group, including Goldman and JP Morgan, test it for defense. But the danger is a double-edged sword. The same logic that patches a zero-day flaw can be used by an agent to exploit it. The leak of Mythos, details in 2026, triggered a $2 trillion sell-off in software stocks. You heard it right. Mythos will slay all the traditional cybersecurity services and software business models, like CrowdStrike and Palo Alto Networks. The Goldman Sachs Agentic AI takeover isn't just about efficiency, it's about power. For a century, Goldman was a cult of human excellence. Now, it's a factory for silicon logic. We are trading individual human error for systemic silicon collapse. We've removed the first rung of the career ladder, ensuring that the next generation of financial leaders will have no idea how the machine actually works. They won't be partners. They'll be babysitters for a system that could Samantha us into a global depression in 4 seconds.
Samantha?
Hi, sweetheart.
In the inhale before the scream, we have to ask, what is the point of a bank that doesn't need bankers? Let that sink in.